Hey there, super friends. It's Joey with Last Point Gaming. Today is Tuesday, April 24th, 2018. Alright, so yesterday and Friday, I had the worst headache, and I think it was because, I had zero caffeine all day, and that's problematic. I actually may start doing some morning recordings. Probably going to give that a shot tomorrow, because actually I am less likely to be incapacitated in the morning anymore, because I'm tired all the time, so I go to bed earlier, so I'm more awake in the morning, and then as the day goes on I get worn out and more likely to have stomach upset, or headache is the new symptom. That sucks. I don't care for that. But at some point this week, I'm gonna talk about my pre-release and everything, but man, so much has been going on lately. So the professor did a video today. It's actually kind of reminiscent of a cast I did very long, last fall. I think it was right around the time of the whole explosion around Jeremy with Unsleep Media and everything, and the community kind of collectively saying that we don't want this, I guess. I did my Planeswalker origin story, and I'll have to see if it got pushed to YouTube. If not, see if I can manually push it now. But he it's a very emotional video where he talked about what he experienced as a child in school, and spoiler, he was a geek like the rest of us that was low on the social totem pole, and talked about being bullied and harassed and everything, and somebody invited him to play Magic. He found his people. I think it's a good video to watch. I don't know what prompted it, because I know what prompted me to do my episode on it was everything going on in the community at that point, and a lot of people were talking about how bullying in the community is especially upsetting, because that's how a lot of us get here. And I've mentioned this a few times, that I have not met a single gamer that, once I've really gotten to know them, hasn't experienced something in their life that has made them just want to escape. And gaming is one of the best escapism mechanics there is, because it's interactive. Reading's great. I used to read a whole lot. I don't have as much time for it anymore, but that was one of my coping mechanisms. But you're still in somebody else's world. You're a passive observer, and it gets you, your mind out of where you are right now, but you don't control where the story goes. The author does. I used to do a lot of writing too before I got into gaming, and that was nice, because that was more of control. It was my world. I was directing. But not everybody has, I don't want to say not everybody has artistic talent, because really, when it's for you, it doesn't matter how good it is, or whatever. Not everybody finds peace or comfort or joy in those kinds of pursuits. So so then you get into gaming, and suddenly, if you're doing role-playing, you have a character. You really get to live an alter ego for these couple hours a week. You get into Magic, you have control over what deck you're playing, and that kind of thing, and what cards you're playing. And the greatest thing, I think, about gaming, as far as trying to escape from an awful reality, is it comes with a community. And ideally, that community is full of people who know what it's like. Unfortunately, people have different schools of thought when it comes to this kind of stuff, like, I was definitely one of those kids that, I got harassed and bullied and picked on and everything, and I'd end up in the guidance office, and, like, literally, the guy asked me, have you tried blending in? When you swim against the stream, people are going to come at you. Have you tried not being fucking weird? Well, or it was always, have you tried not acting so weird? It wasn't an act. Have you tried not being you? All right, I'll work on that. And actually, I did for a very, very long time. And still do to a point. That, I guess that's so ingrained in me that, I was the root cause of the problem, that, like, I'm fairly closed off from people. There's a lot of surface stuff that, I share pretty freely, but anything past that superficial surface level, I feel like I'm pretty closed off. I don't know. There are some that may tell you different, because every once in a while you just meet one of those people that you feel that bizarre connection, that, like, from the moment you meet them, there is this thrum deep in the abyss that it just feels like they're on the same level as you, that, like, it's like you recognize a kindred spirit, but you don't understand that that's what it is. I don't know. This all sounds crazy, and I 1000% get that. It's hard to put into words, but, you just meet somebody and, like, you feel this odd compulsion to tell them your life story. Then I have to work very hard to meter out the crazy and just give bits and pieces so that I do not overwhelm. I think I accidentally overwhelmed the last one. I'm still not sure. Dealing with humans is hard. What are you doing? Why are you going like 2 miles an hour? Jesus. Turn signals are a thing for a reason, Anyway. And again, like, if you go back to my earlier episodes, which, I'm not going to delete them, I'm going to leave them up, because I feel like deleting them implies that I have something to hide. But I have broadened my perspective since then. That I did a lot of bits on, like, I don't understand why people have such a big problem with Jeremy. Like, yeah, he trash talks. Okay. Okay. Because, of my experiences in school and everything, I build up and really good defense system for this shit. I could generally care less. No, actually, I couldn't generally care less what the average person thinks of me. Unless there's a reason, some incentive for me to care about your opinion of me, I generally don't. Like, the people I work with or report to at work, I want them to think that I'm competent. So I do things to encourage that. But, the average person I play against in an event really don't give a shit. You can walk away from the table and be like, man, I, for some reason, hate that girl. Okay, cool. Sorry, I guess. Probably not, actually. I still go out of my way to interact with people in a respectful manner and everything, because I believe that's what we should do. But as far as, like, do I want to be your BFF? Probably not. Like, because, again, I find managing relationships to be fucking stressful. So, I got, like, 4 friends, and I'm cool. That's about all I can handle. And, I have plenty of associates and, people I bullshit with at the shop and everything, and that's great. It's nice to feel that welcoming environment when I show up and everybody's like, hey, Joey, it's just like, cheers. But as far as any random player at a tournament, if somebody's like, steps up from the table and like, I fucking hate you and I hate your deck. Okay. Shouldn't be so hostile, friend, but cool. Don't know what you want me to say. Because again, I do make an effort, like a distinct, diligent effort, especially when playing against a player that I have never played against before, to be cordial and polite. So if you take exception, like, there was the tweet going around this weekend. I couldn't tell which one was the original and which one was the parody. Like, it will never not be uncomfortable to have a giant man-child go off on me because of their shitty top decks or something like that. I mean, in general, I don't give a shit. Now, this is at my local shop. I really don't care because, I don't know, I've never felt threatened by anybody there. Because I guess I just have faith that, you know, my community would have my back if it came necessary. I mean, at a larger event, yes, hostility would probably make me more uncomfortable because I'm already uncomfortable because of the whole too many people in a small area thing. But I don't know, I think at that point I would just start yelling for a judge. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I would do in that situation. But I don't think it's fair to single out a gender here, because I'd be just as uncomfortable if it was a female player going off at me, you know, that appeared to be becoming physically aggressive. I had to feel, you know, I had to have concern for my physical safety. I mean, if you just want to shout words at me, whatever. Have fucking at it. I mean, I'm probably not going to stand there and listen to it. Like, I'm probably going to walk off. But you are more than welcome to stand there and yell at the place where I was standing for as long as you want, friend. Don't care. But when somebody gets physically aggressive, physically threatening, okay, yeah, I can get that. That's upsetting. But again, for me at least, regardless of gender, I would feel the same amount of discomfort by it. Again, this goes to, I think we need to stop making these things a gender issue. And that, yes, people who engage in discriminatory behaviors are not adhering to the code of conduct, and it should be addressed and should be taken care of. Period. No matter what kind of discrimination that is. So if you only treat female players like that, that's clearly discriminatory behavior. And that just kind of stacks on top of the fact that it's already unacceptable behavior. The code of conduct already addresses that kind of behavior. Like, this still falls under unsportsmanlike conduct. Whether the opponent is male, female, whatever, it doesn't matter. This kind of action is unsportsmanlike conduct, and yet, dude, judges, you guys need to start calling that out if you're not. And people who experience this, I urge you, please report it to the judge staff at a given event. And, you know, whatever it happens, report it to the judge or the TO, because it needs to be documented, and this shit needs to not happen. And the only way it's going to not happen is if sanctions are imposed. Because, you know, the vast majority of the gaming community, in my experience, has this same belief that, yeah, hey, we should just treat everybody with a given level of respect. You know, we should all be cordial, polite. I did like that, because Taryn did a bit on, or kind of a thread on Twitter about, you know, hey, it's pre-release, and this may be somebody's first ever experience with Magic, so, you know, be nice, be welcoming, be friendly. And Tasty Snackies, I don't know if it was a direct retort to Taryn, because it wasn't on the same thread, it was just a general tweet he put out. And he stressed the point of be respectful. There's nothing in the rules that says that you have to be friendly. And okay, if you're not comfortable with that level of interaction, if it's just not something you're into, okay, I get that. But I think the majority of us already, believe in following this code of conduct. But you do have those outliers, those push the envelope people, those people who, my general outlook on it from just based on empirical evidence is that people who are that much of an asshole, it's because somewhere throughout their life they were bullied and harassed and picked on and everything, and they felt powerless, and so they have now become the harasser as like kind of a proactive defense mechanism that like they're basically bleeding some of their misery off onto somebody else. Like, and that's not the after school special like, oh yeah, bullies are just really wounded birds that you need to be nice to. No, I'm just saying, like, in my experience, people who feel the need to be that negative and to just do shit just to upset people, with the exception of this one guy I work with who's like a professional troll on the internet just for the hell of it, like, and okay, the internet's one thing, I suppose, but, people who act this way at tournaments, at stores and everything, in my experience, they're people that were marginalized at some point, and this is how they feel stronger. And it's kind of sad. But they do exist. And until there's repercussion for the bad behavior, that it's not going to be corrected. People who will engage in this behavior have made it clear that if there is no clear repercussion for it, they will do it. Or if they think they can get around it, they will do it. So I think judges need to be more engaged with that. But I will say, like, at the LGS level, I don't think judges have a whole lot of control. Because as far as I understand it, now it's never come up. Maybe I should talk to one of my superior judges and get an answer here. It's never come up, but as far as I understand, as a judge, I can't actually DQ somebody. I can talk to the store owner, or the TO, which actually I'm kind of the TO and the judge, but I can recommend that the person be disqualified and banned from the store, but I can't actually do anything on that score. I should actually find out how I report shit to the DCI. Man, well, again, I really only judge F&M and, like, Standard Showdown's been kind of deemed my event I'm responsible for at the shop. And it's all locals and everything, and so this stuff doesn't generally come into question or anything like that. It's, because it's our same crew or, like, newer people that wander in. And, again, the vast majority of the gaming community, I feel like, are all good people that have experienced this negativity in life, and because of that, they actively try to be the change they want to see in the world. They actively try to treat other people the way they want to be treated. Because they know how much it sucks to be on the receiving end of all that shit. And they don't want to inflict that kind of shit on somebody else, especially over a game. I will never get why people get so upset. Like, again, I can kind of get it if you're, like, in contention for the top 8 at the Pro Tour and you, like, blow your winning in. I can understand having a moment of weakness and, slamming your bag on the table or something. Like, doing something that physically expresses how irritated you are at the situation. I can even understand not realizing that you're acting like this until after the fact and looking back and going, oh man, my opponent probably thinks I was a real douche and like I was pissed off at them. Especially if you lose to yourself. If what caused the loss wasn't so much that you played to your outs, but your opponent just, played around you so well, but like you fucking punted it. Like you forgot that Incited Rebel has fire breathing to get in that one extra point of damage. And ended up giving away the game, which was game 3, so you gave away the round. Yeah, that one did happen to me. It was F&M though. And my opponent even said, I would let you go back and, just have it, but I'm pretty sure you don't want that. And I'm like, no, I don't. I want it to burn so I never forget. But yeah, okay, so I can understand if it's like a real high stakes thing, having that moment where you kind of lose control a little bit. A little bit though, like there is a very finite spectrum of behavior that I would say falls into this. But like people who get all tilted over losses at F&M, like, dude, you need some like stress management here. I mean, every once in a while, like, you can tell somebody's had just a shitty week and like they show up and they want to play some Magic and just kind of let the stress of the week drain out of them, but they're still riding that stress. So every loss just kind of adds to it. Okay, if every once in a while somebody kind of has a snap moment, I'm like, all right, clearly you had a bad week, clearly there's outside influence here. I mean, for the most part, our players are all, really respectful, and we have a really good community. So anyway, man, this was a long-ass tangent. I do recommend you go watch the Professor's video. Something else I wanted to bring up here. The Professor's been acting out of character lately from what I've come to expect, based on my perception of how he's generally been, both on his YouTube channel and like his presence on Twitter and everything. And that's, again, there's nothing I've seen lately that would have prompted this outpouring. So I hope he's okay. Just usually when people start acting out of character, it's an indication that something's wrong. That they're struggling. And so I really hope the guy's all right. But I really feel like this video is very genuine. And going back to the whole community fallout thing, when he did the video, I don't really know how to describe that video. Basically asking Jeremy to like back the fuck off people, I guess. But I think it was more meant of a like bringing awareness to the community of what exactly people are talking about. There were many who called it subtle emotional manipulation. The thing is, I don't think he's that good an actor. And that's not a dig. That's not me trying to say anything negative about him. But like, if you go watch his spoiler card videos, they're always hilarious. Like, they're fantastic. But even when he's playing like a bit part or doing a bit, it's very hyperbolic. It's very exaggerated. Because I don't think he has like that Hollywood skill. I mean, I don't either. No contest there. And it's why I really think the video he did back then and this one here now were very genuine. I think when he does these pieces where it's like a thought piece, I think the reactions you see from him are genuine, because I don't know. That's just my perception of him. I don't really know him or anything, so I could be way off, but I hope the guy's okay. I really do. The majority of his content I kind of don't care about. Again, no offense to him. It's just not stuff that personally interests me. But I do enjoy certain pieces of his content, especially the spoiler videos. Those are fucking hilarious. His product reviews are very good, and they're always very fair. So, and I mean, he's a human being, and I just really hate to see human beings suffer. And I don't know, I don't know if it was the subject material today, because, he was talking about, bullying and harassment he suffered as a child, and that can be very emotional to recall. But he just has been coming across as a little worn. I feel like it would be weird for me to directly approach him about it. I feel like DMing people at all is weird. And then, stuff like this, I don't want to, publicly post it and be like, yo, Professor, are you, super sad? I don't know. It's weird. Social media interactions just fucking weird. Interpersonal interactions fucking weird. It's just all fucking weird. Humans make things difficult. That's where it's kind of what it's all about. But anyway, yeah, I do recommend going and checking it out. No Bandless Modern on the Versus series today. I care about that only slightly more than I care about Brawl, which is about not at all. I do enjoy watching Brad and Ross, in particular. They have this kind of frenemy nemesis thing going on, and I find it pretty funny. So you can always go check that out. Taryn did some streaming today, and he now enabled the post live videos to be put up on Twitch. So when he ends the live stream, it's not just gone forever, which is awesome, because I haven't been catching him lately because work's been a mess. But I'm gonna wrap it up there. As always, if you made it this far with me, thank you very much for listening, and I'll talk to you all hopefully at some point tomorrow.